What possesses someone to ride their bike across Australia in a race where the clock doesn't stop from the start at South Mole Fremantle until the finish at the steps of the Sydney Opera House? This unsupported, unofficial 5,500 kilometre road cycling race has no prize money or other incentive to do it other than honour or an element of madness. It is dangerous and has serious risks for those unprepared, but the rewards for those who successfully complete the journey appear to be immense. For some, they are insatiable. This is my endeavour to explore what it takes to undertake this extreme feat of physical and mental endurance. In 2022, 17 riders committed to being at the start line in Fremantle, Western Australia, and embark on a huge challenge with the ultimate goal of reaching Sydney. Not all riders would finish, but all would test themselves and their own limitations, possibly like they'd never done before.
To get to Sydney, I'm doing this just to be riding. It's what I love, it's what I enjoy.
I think the camaraderie, mate, some of the stops that we had where we take some photographs, have a laugh, that was wonderful. Sort of broke it up a bit, the isolation. So that was my favourite part.
Loneliness, being out there and with no one else but yourself and stars, and peace and quiet. I think the harder the better, really. I just sort of love that challenge.
I'll give it a crack. I'm not going to sort of go through each day by day. I'm just going to, I'll give it a fair crack, see how far I get, and just enjoy it. But a part of this whole experience is also to challenge yourself and see how far you can go and how deep you can dig, so to speak. So
I don't know, because it's there. It sounds like a great, good thing to do. Love riding in tandem, so been not watching for a few years. Thought why not a tandem? So give it a crack.
Being brave enough to step up to the plate and have a go, and not being timid and sitting back on the sidelines. And it's about being willing to take the risk to succeed. But taking the risk to succeed, there's also the possibility of failure, and you've got to be willing to accept that you can fail.
One hand up.
Binky, how are you, mate?
Good, mate.
Good one.
Binky. John, this is my son Jack.
Another excellent edition of the Indian Pacific Wheel Ride for 2022. Thankfully the borders are down this year, so we've got a very large contingent from over east this time and some local riders as well. Hopefully next year we'll have even more people coming in from international. So we've got 16 riders, 16 bikes, 17 riders. For the first year ever, we've got a tandem, which is going to be awesome. We're going to start the 1 minute silence. We're going to do that now. So 1 minute silence, please, for Mike Hall, who sadly passed in 2017. And we've got Patricia Hall, his mum, on the phone, watching us live right now. Everyone looking at me, please.
sorry. No, no.
Everyone looking at me.
swipe, 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 swipe. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Swerving, making plays, good Ferrari red. Never out my zone, touchdown in my hands. Only fam around me, I can't have no friends. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. Ever since I was a teen, had prices on my head. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, ballpoint on the beat, ballpoint make them dance. Yeah, we came up from nothing, now we're making plans. Yeah, just picked up some bands, Tell her ask it questions when I come again. On the run like a runaway. Only way is the money way. New chain, no jewelry. No games, don't fool me. 21, been a boss. Play the game, pay the cost. Heard you rolling TikTok. Need to get another watch. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says. Yeah, I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon Says.
Stopping, saying hello.
Alright, man. See you, mate. You're on the right route.
I think this time, hopefully I'll do that a little bit better. Sort of, I know they're going to come. I don't know the first half of the course. The second half I have no idea. So I know that there's going to be parts where I just don't want to keep going. They'll probably be different to when they were last year, but I'll be better able to deal with them, I think, because I'll know what is up ahead, whereas last year, I think, for all who rode, you don't know what is up ahead, but this year I'll have points in my mind that I will remember. I'll know, okay, I know this is what is to come. After I get past halfway, if I do, I really don't know. But I think it'll be just keeping in my mind that I've made a commitment to get to Sydney. So I'll do the very best I can.
I just love being out there riding across Australia. So, of course I want to make it to Sydney. But even if I don't make it to Sydney, the fact that I've spent weeks out there riding is what it's all about for me. So, just being able to ride is why I do this.
Have you got any strategies for when you hit lows?
Lows? Oh, I'll show you. So what I did, I learned this from the TCR, there's nothing that picks you up more than smiling faces. So what I've done, got things printed out, photos, people you love, laminated so they're waterproof. So my strategy is a smiling face, and that's family. So it's my kid and my wife. So.
I'm going to be competitive. I'm competitive, so let's see what happens.
So you found a bit of a tough going with the headwind, or
yeah, and getting used to the big trucks, and I think they get bigger.
Yeah.
Reapply.
It's a tough section now because you got hardly any shoulder and it's windy.
Yeah.
But the next section I think is pretty good to Meriden. It's a lot better.
Yeah, that's my plan, to get to Meriden by sometime tomorrow morning or late tonight.
To Meriden, getting to Meriden.
Yeah, that'll be my next. Yeah, so I've just got to sort out my water situation.
Yep.
Loving it so far.
Where are you aiming for today?
If the wind wasn't like this, mate, we were going for Meriden. But yeah, I don't know. Pottering, Quadering, whatever you want to pronounce, whatever the real word is. We'll push up, we'll see how we go. But yeah, we'll just get racing and just pace it and see how we go.
Yeah, we're about to go. Did you fill up your water? At the back?
How you feeling, Otters?
Oh, not too bad.
Good.
It's slower than I was expecting.
Bit of wind.
Solid headwind for a while, yeah.
Riding strong.
But yeah, the body's good. How you enjoying your day?
From my interactions with the riders so far, I suspect that they are the sort of people that prefer to experience life from being on the inside looking out, rather than the outside looking in. They prefer to be participants rather than spectators. I sense also they have a deep need to test their limits and expand their horizons. They seem willing to go way beyond their normal comfort zones in order to experience the richness of life. They appear at ease with their own company and extended periods of solitude. They do not let the fear of the unknown or the fear of failure prevent them from having a go. They're essentially ordinary people doing an extraordinary thing, Indipac.
So it tracks the cars, so 200 metres away, get the red and the green, you can see the box up. Yeah, I mean, lunch was not amazing, but I really like it because I don't like the mirror and I don't like the guts on two ways and things like that.
Backtrack to Bruce Rock and not Bruce Rock, your decided not to go away. I was trying to catch up with you. We've already got a accommodation, so that's something we do. So caught up with KPP, so probably about 25 days out against Scotty.
I'm really struggling today. To get these 100 Ks has been a really tough ride.
Appropriate for an overlander.
Especially with the Expedition spring flats.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 20 minutes behind, isn't it? So I'll head there, I'll have a bit of a refresh, and then I'll go to Southern Cross and might give them a bell and see what their plans are. Alright. I know it's going to be hot, but I still would like to, because I'm feeling
Very feeling good.
Loading up, yeah. Last stop for the next 150 or 55, yeah.
What's the wind like?
Oh, it's better, yeah. Better than it was this morning. This morning was still headwind. Every time we were going east, bang, but you know, northeast was okay, but as soon as we're heading east, it was in your face again. Not as bad, but bad. Yeah, we saw legs and everything. It feels worse.
Yeah, well, you're coming third still.
Yeah. So, just cruising along.
Pretty difficult conditions.
It is.
Riding strong.
Yeah, survival of the fittest. Oh, okay. Yeah, a couple of trucks are giving me toots, you know, and I put the hand up.
Yeah.
So, okay, safe up. But I'm right over on over the other side of the white line. So even though the road is a bit rougher, but I'm already there. You know what I mean? So.
Yep, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got that shoulder.
Yeah, they're just giving a little toot, and I just put the hand up.
Yeah.
sore butt, but I can't. We slept on a veranda last night, me and Danny.
Oh, right.
I'll be looking forward to a bed tonight.
Oh, for sure.
Well, just because it was so long getting rid of the ferret, and it was just so slow. You know, you'd see, the little signs, how it just tell you like 50 k's to go. And it just took forever. And each time the 5k mark got counted down, it was taking so long. It was sitting on like 16 k's. Then the head, it's like you're just crawling along.
Yeah.
It was such a long ride. It's probably the hardest ride I've ever done.
I'm Nicole. I work here at Yellowdine Roadhouse in Yellowdine. I saw the guys come through last year. They were absolutely wonderful and got me so excited for the race. So I started following everybody on Facebook and then dot watching. And then when I saw it was going to start this year, I have been following it from seeing who's going to be here and where they are. And I've got the thing on my phone where I keep an eye on where everybody is and make sure I catch up with everyone that comes through, and we help them out as much as we can here. But it's lovely hearing their stories. They are such a great group of guys. But I'm waiting for Kevin. He's my favourite. Like, he was my favourite last year, and like I'm waiting for him this year, so he better stop in and say hello.
See the ute in front?
Yep. Yeah.
He's going to escort 2 foot bikers.
Yep.
Watch it go in my back every 2 seconds.
Yes. Yeah.
This is it. No, I'm done. I don't care. My family's more important than this.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah.
Had a chat to him. What do you reckon? No, no. Yeah, you'll be missed.
You've obviously heard Lloydie scratch.
Yeah, I got that message. I haven't processed it properly.
Yep.
It was really sad. Yeah, totally different experience to me.
Yeah.
I thought the road was great.
Yep.
The truckies were great. The drivers were great. So it was unfortunate.
Yes.
If he'd had the experience I had, he would have been through Norseman by now, I suspect. But yeah, well, always look after yourself, don't you? Number one goal is getting home safe. And yeah, it's sad to see him go out, but you don't want to be worried, do you?
Okay, man, I understand you've done this ride a few times before.
Yes.
Making it all the way to Sydney.
Correct.
What's the hunger to do it again?
Oh, well, I'm actually sort of scratching my head just these last couple of days, sort of wondering why, but I think once the body adjusts, and actually today's been a really good day. We've had 2 tough days with the wind and the heat, but today from Southern Cross to Coolgardie, it's just been magic, absolute magic, and my sort of body's kind of feeling okay. The hunger to sort of, well, it's an Indipac, you know, it's like it's a mountain. And if I can't go mountaineering, I can ride a bike in an Indipac.
How was BJ as a roommate in Bruce Rock?
A great roommate. Excellent. Yeah, he handled the intrusion of a female truck driver who desperately wanted to use the toilet, even though we were living in there. Very, very tactfully.
Was that in the middle of the night, was it?
And didn't get us arrested. About 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it was quite interesting. The last thing we said before we went to bed is that there's not going to be anyone going to the toilet before we leave at 4 in the morning. Sure enough.
She came.
They probably would have had
Indipac. Mental, physical.
2022.
What do you reckon? Is it more physical than mental or vice versa?
Oh, it's mental for sure. All mental.
All mental?
Last night, the last thing I wanted to do when I was laying in bed was get up and ride 185 k's to here, then keep going out towards Wichita. So I just didn't want to do it. But you have to sort of try to find somewhere to put that fear, I guess, and get on your bike and just ride, you know. But yeah, mate, I didn't want to do it. Not at all. But now that I'm here, it's the highs and lows. Well, you know, you've ridden it, yeah. The lows of I can't see myself getting on my bike again. My legs sore, my ass is sore, everything hurts. I just don't want to do it, but you really have no choice because there's nowhere else to go, so you do it. And as you're doing it, you start to get better and your mindset changes. And now, being here, seeing the other boys, seeing you and that, mate, I'll get stocked up and I'll jump on and I'll bang out that other 70 odd Ks and it won't matter so much.
What do you tell yourself when you feel like not wanting to do it?
It's hard because you get sort of anxious and I don't know if scared's not the word. You just got to try to swallow it. There's nothing you can really say to yourself. You've just got to go through the processes that you set for yourself with your daily rides and sort of encourage yourself because no one can help you do it. Although there's so much support with you guys, people who are watching and not watching, family, all the other riders. At the end of the day, you're the one, as you know, you've got to get up, get on that bike and stare down 200 k's. And sometimes it's the last thing you want to do.
Let's look at Tony Vink's rig. It's a Linsky R265 frame and forks. It's running Enduro AC35 rims. Looks like there's a Girachi grip settings running as well. Got the Vision clip-on aero bars. Snoopy token. Got a stealth seat. Some Crocs. White wear. Is that a Saigo light hot shot? I think 200 lumen or 250 lumen?
Hard work, but at the end of the day, once it's over, everyone's like, yep, that's alright. So everybody's recovering well, which is good so early. We'll try and get to day 6 or 7 or 8 when the fitness comes around and the body sorts itself out, and then you just sit back and have a bit more of a relax instead of waiting and wondering what's going to hurt first. Today was really good. We had a tailwind, so we left at about 12:30. And had a tailwind for a while, light drizzle, stopped at Yellow Dine, showers and all that were open, thank you very much. So yeah, no, it was good. So and because it was so cool last night, I think it was 18 or something when we were riding in, I ended up tipping out 2 litres of water 30 k's out of town and still come in with another 2 litres, so I think I started with 6.5. I've decided I'm not coming back next year, so I just want to get it finished.
Couldn't believe how hard it is now to do it with bitumen roads and a roadhouse every 100 k's. And how the hell did they do this when it was a track in the desert on a bike that weighed twice what ours was? Just incredible. Amazing. 3 years ago was the first one that I started preparing for, and chickened out. And then COVID came along, the uncertainty, but life just gets in the way. You've got to work and family commitments, it just makes it really hard. Then hit 60 and went, wow, running out of time. If I don't do it now, you can't put it off. You get out and do the things you want to do. Getting to Sydney is the only. It really doesn't matter. As long as I eventually get there.
Amazingly, it's starting to get better. I'm still going to finish if I finish at right down the end somewhere, but doesn't worry me. I just want to finish, and being in it with the guys that I'm lucky enough to ride with has been the most amazing experience so far. They are so generous and so helpful, and they buy me food when I'm laid in, they organise a room when I'm laid in. I'm always laid in. I'm the tail gunner. I'm always the last in. One day. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. As long as everyone's safe and everyone has a really good time, and I hope everyone's having as much fun as I am.
What kind of truck do you drive?
That one there. We've got a road train. Cyclists and pedestrians get sucked in towards the truck.
Yep.
Even though we give a lot of space, you can still see the bike wobbly.
Oh yes.
So there's been triple road trains because of the train going down. But it's calming down a bit. The last few weeks have been chaos, absolute chaos on the road. Every truck was on the road. You know, it was like main streets in towns. It's calmed down now, so that's helpful. Like you didn't do it during that period, because you would actually better to get off the road altogether.
Yeah.
Because with LED lights, the modern lights, you can't actually distinguish the distance that they're at. They appear further away than what they are. We've had cyclists that had very bright
headlights as well, and they're so bright they blind you. So yeah, you've got to moderate things, but as long as you're visible.
Yeah.
I'm not a cyclist by any standard, okay? I'm a sailor, I'm a boat builder, I'm an occasional cyclist, okay? I'm born in the Netherlands, so you're kind of born on a bicycle, but not exactly ultra distance because everything is really close by there. It's a very small country. So it's just that I've always been cycling, of course, but then Brad Miller put a piece on a local mountain biking website about just after he had to scratch out of the Indipac last year. And I'm going like, Indipac, what's that? Let's Google that. And I'll sort of read up about it, and I'm thinking, I know I don't have the training, but why would you not want to do this? Or at least give it a shot. So that's the long and short of it.
I'm not sure. I think we're going to hotel up, ice up, then I might try and just get to Yellowdown tomorrow at the Roadhouse, and then late in the day so I get more rest, and just 30 to something light, and then from there sleep there, and then maybe half a day and leave late in the night and get to what's the next place. I don't know. I'm just I kind of want to take it slow. If I push it, then as you're saying, is I might not make it to Adelaide. I think the further I go, the happier I am with my accomplishment.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, definitely.
I've just graduated uni, and I thought, hello, I'll get out and do something. I was going to do hiking, but I thought something a bit more crazy. So if you're going to do something, you might as well do something harder than the one you thought of before. I don't know, it's kind of strange. But
Last year I stopped at Norseman. I felt really bad about that. In the end, it was the best thing. I got a heart ablation, and I'm off all meds from the heart, AFib. So I'm very pleased with that. I wanted to come again, and then a disaster struck. My son stole my titanium road bike, so I had to buy a new bike, and he decided to come along with me. So there you go. And I'm very blessed to have Jack come along with me, Leroy Jenkins. And this is just one issue today we have to deal with. And as you know, on these trips, anything can happen. There's something tough about this. As you know, the first day is brutal. The second day, yesterday, was tough. And today was actually quite easy. But I think for Jack, the damage was done. And we just got to fix that as best we can, and I'm hoping he can recover and sustain it at least to Adelaide. Would I consider moving on? Probably, yes. I think I need to. Yes, I think I would. I'd like to get him home somehow, make sure he's safe, but my heart's really heavy for him. But that's what happens. We got to deal with it. Well, there's just a pleasure in not knowing how the day's going to pan out, and I've always enjoyed that. My wife and I went across America. We also then went across Europe, and every day was unique. It was difficult at times, but we had wonderful experiences from that. And you don't necessarily have that sitting at home, being relaxed. And I think for me, I know where I was 3 years ago on June 21st because I was on a trip. Whereas I don't know where I was 4 years ago on June 21st because I was at home, probably cutting the lawn. So it's nice to get out and try things in whatever form you want. Well, it's sort of a personal race, and I think it's officially a ride because it's no longer a race.
but it's quite interesting that everyone, whether you're in the lead or at the tail end, everyone respects each other and they support each other because of the WhatsApp group. And but it's a personal challenge, but it's riding on your own, but you have some support with the tracking device. And it's something that your average person, and we all are average in a way, that average person doesn't consider doing. And it's nice to try something that looks a bit nutty.
Being brave enough to step up to the plate and have a go, and not being timid and sitting back on the sidelines. And it's about being willing to take the risk to succeed. But taking the risk to succeed, there's also the possibility of failure, and you've got to be willing to accept that you can fail.
The reasons why riders do this ride and decide to ultimately challenge themselves are as unique and as individual as the riders themselves. But understanding their why will be crucial in getting them through their difficult moments, which will be many on their journey. Their ability to face adversity and their level of mental resilience will be tested over and over again. What I've learnt from the riders is that this ride needs to give something back. And no matter how physically strong you are, 100% mental commitment is essential. For some, the ride will give back way beyond what they had ever imagined. For others, it'll take more than it gives back. And that is okay, because what means something is having a go. And it's okay if you don't want to have a go, because there are no rules. This is an unofficial ride, and there is no one to judge you but yourself.